Hello, my name is Adonis and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a love or loss spread for all of my Aries out there. So let's get after it. Okay. Sun, rising Venus in Jupiter, Sun, Moon, rising Venus in Jupiter, Sun, rising Venus in Jupiter, Sun, rising Venus in Jupiter. Show me cards I need to see. Show me cards I need to see. What types of energy are my Aries currently dealing with? What kind of energy are my Aries currently dealing with? One more shuffle for you, man. Here we go. Feels great. All right, here we go. Here we go. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so right now you're dealing with someone that you most likely probably met during some type of celebratory event. Maybe some type of a bar situation, or maybe a bar, a club, or some type of festive event. All right. This person is beginning to feel as if the wheel of fortune is beginning to move in their favor. All right. They've been trying to really get your attention for a little bit now, and they're beginning to get a little bit of traction on it. Whatever they're doing to get your attention is beginning to pay off here. All right. There's a great amount of passion, okay, and a great amount of spiritual strength that is really taken for them to get to this point. All right, so this person is someone that's been kind of sticking with it for a little bit here, and what I'm feeling here is in the beginning, it was a little rocky. You know, you were they didn't really feel like they were really getting a lot of traction, so they kind of had to stick with it. That's where the passion and the courage came from, because they were beginning to doubt themselves. They were beginning to doubt maybe if there was some type of connection, that they were misreading the vibe, so to speak. Okay, but alas, they stuck with it. All right, and they do believe that they have the high ground. They do believe that there is some type of vibe, some type of energy between you guys. All right, this individual, the Page of Wands energy here. Okay, this is a younger fire sign individual. Okay, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius energy here. Now, what makes this individual, how you'll recognize this individual, this is somebody that kind of thinks out the box. They're a little bit different than everybody else, okay? They have a lot of exploratory energy, okay? Page of Wands is all about, new exploratory energy here, being kind of different, thinking out the box, kind of moving to the beat of their own drum type of thing. So this is what that's how you'll recognize who this individual is, okay? And it's either a younger person or a person with like more of a younger energy. This person has a lot of vibrant young energy that they're dealing with, okay? So it doesn't not necessarily mean it's a younger fire sign individual, but this person does have a very youthful energy about them, okay? This person is willing to put in the work too. With this Eight of Pentacles, they're willing to put in the work, repetitive tasks. They're willing to do what it takes to make the relationship work between you guys, all right? The only thing they're looking for is having an equal give and take. They want to have a sense of moderation. So, in other words, this is an individual that doesn't mind putting in the work for something that's going to pay off in dividends, all right? So they're willing to put the work in as long as the energy is reciprocal, in other words, all right? And finally here, we got the Death card here. So this represents something completely new. Out with the old, in with the new. So this is new beginnings, endings, and new beginnings. So this is a person's energy that's completely fresh, completely new. So there's no baggage that they're bringing into this situation, in other words, all right? So that's what's going on with your neck of the woods, my Aries. So let's see what the potential strengths of the situation are. What are the potential strengths of this situation? What are the potential strengths of the situation? So in other words, what are the favorabilities? What kind of favorable things exist with the situation? What are the strengths, in other words? All right, here we go. All right, so these are all of the potential strengths here. So certain negative cards, will be reading them in reverse, in other words, that because we're highlighting the strengths, all right? So, for example, you got the Eight of Swords here. So usually that would represent someone that feels like they have their hands tied behind their back. The strength of the situation here is things are wide open. Things are wide open. You know, there's no feeling of being restricted. Things are wide open, in other words. So that's why there's nothing holding this individual back. Maybe once upon a time you felt like you were being restricted. With this particular situation, there's no restrictions. It's wide open here. In addition, we got the Four of Cups here. Now, usually, again, since it's a strength, somebody offering their couple love, like, nah, I'm not really interested in it. This particular case, since this is a strength, this is looked upon, again, as a reverse aspect. I just kind of want to give some of you newbies an idea of how I read the situation. Instead of reading reversals, depending on the question, okay, and depending on the question and what significators are with the cards, all right, just to kind of give you guys a bird's eye view of what I'm doing, all right? You guys are familiar with me, you know what I'm doing? Just go with the flow, all right? Anyway, so in other words, there's no problem here with someone offering your couple love and you being willing to take it. So in other words, the doors are wide open. There's no restriction here. Things are wide open to a potential love interest here. Now we got the Judgment card, usually represents an X situation. This particular situation, since there is an X energy here, here's the thing with this. Depending on the nature of why the relationship with your ex was dissolved, will really depend on how things are going to transpire between this situation. In this particular case, as far as the ex energy goes, it could be a case where you may be kind of open towards pursuing a relationship, maybe if it's the right flow. Or maybe there's things about this particular situation that kind of reminds you of your ex. Certain things, the positive things. So this younger individual has attributes that kind of remind you of your ex, during the good times, in other words, all right? Now, also, the good thing about this here is, since these are the strengths, look at this as far as the Page of Swords goes. Page of Swords energy usually is an immature energy. Something new, something fresh, inexperienced, really. This is looked upon as a good thing because, again, there's still a sense of innocence here. There's still a sense, in other words, still a sense of purity with this situation, okay? So this is untainted energy here for the most part. This person we got the Eight of Wands energy here. This individual has been sending a lot of energy and communication. Okay, this person's been really trying to get your attention through all social media devices, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. So there's a lot of energy and focus that have been put on the situation. Also, this represents, with the Ace of Pentacles here, represents a real tangible opportunity here. This is something that really represents a very tangible, a very substantial opportunity here for something to prosper. We also got the Hermit card here. Okay, so there's been a lot of soul searching and self-reflecting that has taken place here. This was not something that was going into lightly. Like I said before, with the Strength card representing a lot of passion, a lot of courage. So in the beginning, like I said, there really wasn't, what I'm feeling here is there really wasn't, the energy really wasn't reciprocal. It was more like they were putting a whole lot more in than they were getting out. But the Wheel of Fortune, as I said before, is beginning to turn in favor. All right, and you're beginning to kind of notice them. All right, so again, they took the time to really, really evaluate this, and they're beginning to be noticed. And finally, here we have the King of Pentacles, representing making wise choices when it comes to finances and stuff like that. So those are all of the positives of the situation. In other words, the strengths of the situation. So with that being said, we're going to look at now is we're going to look at to see what are the current blockages potentially keeping you guys apart. What are the potential blockages Potentially keep you guys apart? What are the potential blockages that could potentially keep you guys apart? One more shuffle here. What are the potential blockages that could potentially keep you guys apart? One more shuffle. There we go. What are the potential blockages that could potentially keep you guys apart? What are potential blockages that could potentially keep you guys apart? Some cards I need to see. Ooh, popped. Ooh. A, 2, C. One popped out. We're definitely gonna take that. Alrighty. So potential blockages. Devil card here. All right. So usually this devil card represents a situation where it's either some type of alcoholism, some type of opioid abuse, could be overall a toxic relationship. The potential things that could potentially keep you guys apart is the fact that, remember, the wheels of fortune are beginning to move in favor, but I do feel as if as this person is pursuing this, you may get the impression that things are becoming a little bit toxic, a little bit obsessive, if you will. Okay, a little bit obsessive. So there's this real fine line that's being worked right now with this younger individual. There's like this real thin line here. So a lot of things in the beginning seem like they're kind of cute, and like they're giving you all their attention and they're really up under you all the time. However, all right, depending on how this thing plays out, you could kind of start looking at it as kind of being a little bit obsessive, okay, and that could take a real funny bounce, really dependent. All right. In addition here, we talked about having a lot of strength, a lot of courage to move forward. This particular, I'm feeling as if these two really go together, hand in hand here. Because, it's taking a great deal of spiritual strength and courage to stay in there. But that same kind of courage and strength and that stick-with-itness is a part of that potentially obsessive, compulsive personality that they have that kind of pushing up on you all the time. So, again, they may, there's a possibility that they could be misreading the situation, or you could be misreading the situation. And what was once, you looked upon as being something pleasant, something, oh, wow, this is great, I'm glad I'm getting his attention. After a while, it could become a little bit problematic, like, yo, you don't got no friends or nothing, like, you here again. So just keep that in mind there. In addition, here also we have the Queen of Swords energy. So a Queen of Swords energy that's pretty straight up, pretty much tells it like it is. All right, it's a very straight up, very not so much in your face, but very logical energy, if you will. Here, and the bluntness, like I said, in the beginning it's going to be cute, but after a while it's going to start to become problematic, and you just kind of being straight up, like, listen, that could be potentially cause a problem, because you're going to be compelled to be really honest about it. Like, listen, I like you, but you need to kind of, find some other friends to bring into the mix here, or to kind of have a life outside of this, if you will. There's also the potential, because of that, things could be kind of put on pause. There could be a standstill that could be put here. Okay, so a reevaluating, if you will, of the situation. In addition, here we got the Hermit card. There may be some soul searching and self-reflecting on your part, to kind of make you think twice, like, am I this person's like first love, really? And there may be a situation where you're reevaluating exactly what do I need, how can I articulate what I need to say here, to kind of bring things, to a more reasonable type of interaction here. And finally, here is your wishes. There's a possibility your wishes may not be filled with this, because all of a sudden, instead of you being swept off your feet, okay, all of a sudden you're mentoring, because you're mentoring someone and guiding them through the minutia of how a relationship works, because you're this person's first love. So, there is that. So, would I say this is a love or loss situation? I say it's a potential love situation with the caveat if you're going to have a little bit of patience here, because you are this person's first love for the most part. So it's going to take a little bit of patience, if you will, on your part. But there's more in favor of this being a love situation than a loss situation. Just as long as you can demonstrate a little bit of patience with this individual, things are going to be okay. All right? Before I shut this thing down, let's see what additional information Spirit wants to give. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Whew. Okay, so Spirit wants to say, hey, listen, be careful that there's not this absence there. This absence, again, we talking about patience, that what was once potential love all of a sudden becomes problematic and burdensome, and then it just becomes an absence of any kind of real connectivity you feel to this individual. It's like what was once was a beautiful, quaint situation, all of a sudden, like, this is really a pain. This person's here again. So just be aware of that. You're this person's first love. It's going to take a little bit of patience here. All right. Also, Spirit wants to say the possibility, if you work together with this individual, working through this first love process, there's a possibility it could have a beautiful outcome. But you're going to have to, again, the theme here is work with this individual here. Also, efficiency. Efficiency meaning time. So getting the most out of a little bit of time, and it would probably behoove you to let this individual know, hey, listen, it's not the quantity of the time, it's the quality of the time. All right. So instead of this person wanting to be up around you all the time, you say, hey, listen, you know what I mean? It's about what we do with this little bit of time right here. We don't have to spend like 7 hours together the whole time. You know what I mean? We can spend 2 hours together or 3 hours together, and that time could be so it can have so much quality. Okay, so much quality in the time that you're spending together, that we spend together. It could be as if we spent the whole day together. So you could really, again, it's the true quality of the time that you spend with somebody, not the amount of time that you spend with them. And once you articulate this to this younger individual, I think they'll probably get the message, and I think there's a possibility of things having a smooth transition, if you will. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to shut this thing down now. This is a general love reading. It may not resonate with everyone. If it does resonate with you and you want to know a little bit more about this particular situation, again, a link will be below. Feel free to get a personal reading. If it did not resonate with you and you want to know a little bit more about your particular situation, again, a link will be below. Get a personal reading. My name is Adonis. If you guys have not already, please like, please share, and please subscribe. I love you guys, and I will absolutely, positively see you next time. Bye-bye.